Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take you through a couple of card setups from the beginning to end. I've gone through and done about half of them at this point. So we'll start just down here. What I have is essentially the original tech tree guide. It was all built in here, all the things. Since we don't use that anymore, I've taken that out, but I still maintain it for the cards. I'll be working in half screen because I need the text. So what I'll be doing is, this is ability number 8 for the tech tree, which is the Jagdpanzer 38T Hetzer. It's a pretty simple one, and I'll take you right through an entire creation. So first thing I do is I clone all of the tech tree cards from the previous doctrine that we were working on. You can see it's all pretty well templated. You've got an icon, portrait. We used to have cost in there as well, but that all went a long time ago. And then you've got your two text fields. So first thing I do is just copy the text. Drop it in there, and of course it doesn't fit. Okay, a bit of repositioning, make sure it all works more or less about right. Some of these have more, some of these have less information in them. So then it's a case of going through and actually replacing the icons. If you're familiar with Photoshop, there's a couple of things we can do, but for some reason it seems to like being converted to a smart object a second time. Don't know quite why it does that, but if you don't, it starts to replace the ones underneath it. It's just a simple case of mucking around with this stuff and doing it over and over again. Okay, and that is essentially all it is to do a tech tree card. I'll do a more complicated one, or one that's a bit more in depth. Of course, then you notice you've done something where you've missed a full stop, things like that. It's always better to find it now. The next thing you do when you're doing this is we have to optimize them, because what happens if you don't optimize the cards, they eventually become too big for the tool to actually build it, and it just kind of screws the whole thing up. Okay, so ability 8, save it out here. Always pays to reopen them as well. Because what happens is you get this little thin bit of transparent. And now if I have that still, yep, I've got that still saved. We just crop that down, save it over the top. Tiny PNG, I think it is. Okay, and then we go and drop that in. Drop that in there. That compresses down from about half a meg to about 1/10 of a meg. Download it, save it back on top of itself. And it's done. That's all there is to it. Close that one out. I'll go back through one of the earlier ones that I've done. So then just mark that one as completely complete. Done. Okay, ability 1. So I've already put all the text in. Same deal again, everything's all lined up. The odd thing has to be repositioned slightly. And then yeah, just clone that out, export as a PNG, ability 1, reopen that one. You can see there's quite a saving of size in these when you've got them all. Because you've got to remember that there's 16 cards for every doctrine, and there's I think 20 doctrines off the top of my head. So yeah, you've got quite a lot of stuff, and if they're all half a meg each, it just gets massive. We got to the point where if we didn't do this, we wouldn't actually be able to finish the mod. It would just stop pumping out. It would just stop building. It was just too big. So yeah. Anyway, that is a very, very quick overview of what we do for the tech trees and how we build them. So yeah, I'll just run through a couple more while I've got you on the stream. And kindly the rest of the team gets all the stuff ready. So once it's very quick to actually do these. There's one downside to using Photoshop, is it doesn't have spell check. This one I actually haven't finished writing all the text for it, so I'm not going to export that one out. I'm going to leave that one. And I think I actually did the wrong card, wrong details for that one. Let's have a look. Let me just quickly check that. So I think I pulled the ones from card number 4. Yeah, I did. Which means I screwed that one up as well. That's a bit more like it. Okay, that makes more sense. And you can see it's very quick to fix this sort of stuff. This doesn't take a lot to do it. So I need to quickly redo that one. sure why that's failed, but that's all right. Anyway, that is really how much I have to show you on this at the moment. So I'm going to stop the stream there, and you can pick this up later.